I've noticed recently that I've been rushing a lot, and even on days when I'm not busy. Like obviously we all have busy days, but there's times when I'm still rushing through things when I have time. And even stuff I enjoy, like a good meal or my evening walks or catching up with a friend or family member on the phone. Like I find myself rushing through all of these tasks because there's so much that I want to get done in each day. And I find that when I'm rushing, I feel kind of anxious and stressed, and I'm not really enjoying what I'm doing. So on this day, I'm going to show you everything that I ate today, of course, and just try to be a little bit more intentional. But I also really made an effort to try to slow down when I felt that nervousness and that anxiousness to rush through everything. And I also made a really good ramen that I made in under 10 minutes. I teamed up with Immi Ramen for this video, so you're gonna see lots of convenient tips. I did a grocery haul, I did 2 different taste tests, lots of good stuff, but the whole point is just to slow down, savor a little bit more when I can, and enjoy. For breakfast on this day, I started with a peanut butter and jelly, and I've been having a peanut butter and jelly almost every single day recently. I'm on a bit of a kick because they're so good. They're classic for a reason, and it's like quick and easy, minimal effort, very few ingredients, but it actually tastes really good. And it's familiar and cozy and comforting. So yeah, I've been really into the peanut butter and jellies. I had this with a new coffee that I found, and I had that with some soy milk. I like the soy milk because it's thick, it's creamy, but it's not too thick, and I get the unsweetened kind. And that was my breakfast. Super easy, super simple, but honestly so good. And I think that especially if I'm rushing around and I'm feeling kind of chaotic in my head, making simpler meals is something that really helps me. After breakfast, I had my multivitamin with a glass of water, and then I went ahead and got ready for the day. Another thing that I did on this day that worked really well was I combined tasks. So I looked at my schedule and I saw that I wanted to do a workout and I needed to run an errand at the grocery store. So instead of rushing at the grocery store so I could make it back to work out, I just combined the 2 tasks. I walked to the grocery store, I did my grocery shopping, and then I just stretched a little bit when I got back. And that way I kind of didn't really save a lot of time. It's not like I shortened the amount of time. I wasn't multitasking so I could squeeze even more into my day. It was more of a mental freedom thing. Like I don't have to rush through grocery shopping to make it to the workout because it's all one thing. So it's a little perspective shift that really helps me to be present and just reduce the number of things on my lists because I'm combining them into one. Did get some fun snacks at the grocery store and new to me snacks, so I thought we could do a little taste test. First one is these Rhythm organic cauliflower bites in the buffalo ranch flavor. I've had the sea salt flavor and I was really pleasantly surprised with these. I feel like veggie chips can be kind of hit or miss, but I remember really liking the texture. They're super crunchy and they're really light and airy and crispy. And I remember that the sea salt flavor was really nicely salted, so it kind of satisfies that craving for like a salty, crunchy snack. So I felt like these would be good. And then the other one that I have is the Simple Truth popped root veggie crisps in the sea salt flavor, and these are made with chickpeas, shallots, beets, and carrots. I've had similar chips before. I really like this texture. They're really, again, like light and airy and crispy, and they're usually really good with hummus. But instead of hummus, I'm gonna try this bitchin' sauce. It's the spinach artichoke flavor, and I've never had this flavor. It's an almond-based dip, and it's super, super creamy, as you can see. Ooh. That is really good. I have no idea what the chip tastes like because I had so much dip on it. This is really just a vehicle for the dip. The dip is super good. Almonds, lemon juice, spinach, coconut aminos, artichoke hearts, nutritional yeast, garlic, salt, and jalapeno. I feel like you could use this on so many things. I'm kind of even thinking like a veggie wrap. Like if you made a wrap or a veggie sandwich, I feel like this would be really good. The chip is good, but it's like not super salty on its own. It definitely needs something to go with it. Hummus, mashed avocado with some salt and lime, or a dip like this would be perfect. Whoa, this is a big piece of cauliflower. I'm a little worried that this is gonna be super spicy. They're really crunchy. They're very large, the pieces I got. I don't know if every bag has such big pieces, but I've got like really big florets happening here. So it's like quite a crunchy mouthful, but I would say what I'm tasting right now is cauliflower, a little bit of like cayenne pepperiness on the upper end of medium spicy. There is something kind of ranch-ish in the aftertaste, but it's not like, oh, that's definitely ranch. I think I prefer the sea salt flavor though. Okay, my lips are kind of on fire though, so maybe these are a little more than medium spicy, but It doesn't hit you right away. All right, I'm gonna finish my snack and then do a little bit of work, and I will see you guys at lunchtime. If you're someone who really struggles with lunchtime because you need something that's quick and convenient but also hearty and actually satisfying so you're not snacking all afternoon, I really think you'll love these Remy ramen noodles. It's basically all of the convenience and everything you love about instant ramen, but completely vegan and made with much better ingredients. Unlike other instant ramens, this one has 22 grams of protein because it's made with pumpkin seeds, which is so cool. It also has 18 grams of fiber, which just blows my mind. And the process is just as quick and easy and convenient. You're gonna open the packet up, you're gonna have the noodles and the little spice mix, which comes in a cute little packet. And the only thing you have to do is warm up the noodles. You can do it on the stove for 7 minutes or in the microwave. So really, really easy. And then you can top it with whatever you like. So I set the timer for 7 minutes, and the only thing I did for prep was I just made some of these carrot noodles. I used a cheese knife, or you could use a veggie peeler, and just kind of run it down the side of the carrot, and it creates these cool noodles that will mix together with the ramen noodles and be really fun to eat. I cut up some herbs, and when the timer went off, it was lunchtime basically. I just drained the noodles, I add a cup of the cooking water, and then one of these little spice packets, which just make me laugh every time I look at them because I can't not think of the Spice Girls. And so you're just gonna mix that in, and it creates a really delicious and flavorful broth. And this is the fun part because you can kind of think of this as a blank canvas, and you can keep it really simple if you like, or you can really deck it out. I actually like to think of this as a great clean out your fridge meal. If you have, you know, random odds and ends in your refrigerator, lots of veggies you want to use up, this is a great meal for that. I went ahead and I added some of these spiraled zucchini noodles from the store. Love taking a little help from the grocery store when you can. I added the fresh herbs, and then this is everything but the bagel seasoning, but it's salt free. Salt is my absolute favorite part of the everything but the bagel because it's that nice chunky crystal salt. But I find that if I'm using it for something like this, it doesn't really need the salt. It's just nice to have that crunch from the sesame and the onion and the garlic. Adding a little fresh lime juice and fresh herbs really brings this ramen to life, and the texture is so good. It's very similar to the instant ramen you've probably had before. It has a little bit of a different texture. The noodles are a little bit different, but they still have that delicious kind of chew and that springiness, and it's really fun to eat and super flavorful. So if you guys want to try Emmy's variety pack, you can click the link and use the code in the description box below. That will get you $5 off your order. Definitely let me know which one ends up being your favorite. I am gonna get some work done now, and I will see you. I don't know if I'm gonna have a snack later, but I am definitely gonna see you at dinner time. And I picked up an ice cream at the grocery store today that I'm so excited to try. We'll do a taste test because I've never had it before. I saw this ice cream on my friend Lauren's channel, and she was raving about it. She absolutely loved it, and ever since then I've just had it in the back of my mind like I need to try this one. So today is the day. I saw it on sale, and we'll do that later. But now I'm gonna get to work, and I will see you guys later. One thing I know about myself is that I love to read, but I'm a slow reader, and I tend to rush through what I'm reading because I want to finish it. And when I do that, I'm not really retaining what I'm reading, and I'm not enjoying reading, which defeats the purpose. So setting the timer really works for me because I know that until that timer goes off, I can just relax and enjoy my reading time, and I don't have to worry about keeping track of the day or like what I have to do next, because I know that for that 15 minutes, that's my reading time. That really works for me, and I'm sure you guys can think of a lot of tasks, like whether it's watching a show or, you know, even like a cleaning task. Like if you just set a 20-minute timer and you just clean for 20 minutes, that way you get a little bit in each day. Setting a timer is just really helpful if you have an anxious mind and you're worried about how much time has gone by and what you need to do afterwards. I find that I know that for that 15 minutes, the only thing I have to do is read. And when the timer goes off, then I can get up and keep going about my day, but I don't have to think about it until that timer goes off. Use an alarm that's not startling. Like you can program it to whatever you want, and so having some kind of light sort of jingling sound or something kind of soothing I think is a lot better than an alarming alarm, because it sucks to be really present and enjoying the moment, especially if you're doing something relaxing like reading, and then all of a sudden this like buzzer just startles you out of it. It's very aggressive. So I recommend setting a nice timer, maybe even having a song or something as the ringtone, and just giving yourself a set amount of time to just be really present in whatever task you choose. One of the reasons it takes me so long to read is because I read a lot of different things at once. So my friend Laura gave me this months ago, and I started it and then I got distracted and never picked it back up, but I loved what I read, and I remember reading this a long time ago, and it was very nostalgic to read it again. So I'm gonna try to get through it again because it's such a cozy read and I really enjoy it. So I'm gonna restart this one. And the other thing that I'm starting is my mom's book. My mom actually read this book to me years ago, but since then she's changed all kinds of things about it. She's edited it down so that it was absolutely perfect and ready to publish, and so there are some things that I don't know, and so I'm excited to read this. From what I know, what I remember, it's a very good story. But what I think I'm gonna read right now when I set my timer is this magazine. I have a stack of these. My mom loves British history, specifically Tudor history, and a couple years ago I vlogged when I was in England. That was when we did a historical tour in England, and we stayed at Hever Castle, and it was absolutely incredible. I learned so much about the Tudors and about that time period, and we are going to be going back, God willing, like if everything's okay with COVID and it's safe to travel, we are going to be doing that over the summer. And so I'm really excited to flip through some of these magazines, and maybe this. I think these two. I've had this on my coffee table for so long, and I haven't really properly read the articles either, but I love Joanna Gaines, so I'm gonna read these two, set my timer, finish my tea, read my magazines, have a nice little moment. I know on a lot of days cooking is a means to an end. You know, you're busy, you got to get food on the table, got to get through the rest of the evening. I totally get that. And like I said, we all have busy days. But cooking is an activity that I also find really helps me be present and calm when I'm feeling stressed if I have the time to indulge in it a little bit. And so on those days, I like to, sometimes I'll put music on or I'll put a podcast on or something, but for the most part, I kind of just like to take my time with it, enjoy the process. Doesn't mean I have to do something super complicated or time consuming. This was like a 20-minute meal, 20-minute meal. And I started with making sweet potato fries in the air fryer, which took 15 minutes at 375, by the way. And while that cooked, I made the rest of the dinner. So it was all ready at once. I started by making these oil-free 5-minute refried beans, or refried style beans, I guess you could say. It's just a can of black beans, a sprinkle of oregano, big pinch of salt, and some garlic. And I add a little water, or you could do broth, but you don't need a lot, just like 2 tablespoons. I have the heat on about a 6 or a 7 out of 10, and I'm just using a wooden spoon to lightly mash the beans. I don't like them to be totally perfectly smooth, but when you mash the beans, you're releasing the starch, and as they warm through, they're going to thicken and be really delicious in our tacos. Then I'm gonna go ahead and make a little slaw. I just have some cabbage, some shredded lettuce, and some red onion. I finish this with a little bit of fresh cilantro, and instead of salad dressing, I'm just gonna take a little help from the store and use some salsa. Now, I went for salsa verde on this day, and it was so good. I just tossed this together, and this salsa has a nice acidity to it, so it works really well to kind of flavor the slaw and give it a nice light coating that's super flavorful. So to assemble the tacos, I just went ahead and I took some warmed up tortillas with the beans, and I love the corn and the red onion. It's like a sweet and tangy, and instead of sour cream, I added some coconut yogurt. This is one of my favorites. It has such simple ingredients, but it's so thick, and I use this for like sweet things, like on pancakes with fruit, or on oatmeal with blueberries, or granola bowls, of course. But it's also really great as a sour cream replacement, so you can use it in savory recipes as well, and it's so good and nice and tangy. I added some hot sauce. I did like half of the sweet potatoes on my plate, but when I went back for seconds, I finished the whole potato because these were so good. I cooked them with a little bit of, actually not a little bit, a pretty generous amount of taco seasoning, and it's just such a nice contrast with the sweet potato. It's like sweet and spicy and earthy and peppery. Absolutely love it. Then I had more of the salad on the side, and this was so good. Highly recommend serving with some fresh lime wedges on the side, and like I said, I did go back for seconds, and this was such an easy dinner, super flavorful and pretty quick. I did take off my glasses because the light is like reflecting in the glass, and I feel like it's distracting, but now I can't really see if I'm in focus, but it's ice cream time, most importantly, and this looks so creamy. I don't know why I was surprised that it's kind of a purple color. It's called black raspberry. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't purple ice cream with like lots of dark chocolate chips all throughout, and it's really creamy. I do like to let ice cream sit out for a couple minutes. I feel like that just improves the texture so much. Whoa. You know how candy that's blue raspberry flavored tastes like very specific, and it's like that blue raspberry candy flavor? This to me tastes initially like blue raspberry candy, but then when I got some of the chocolate, it reminded me of when I used to work at this French restaurant and we had this super dark chocolate cake that had a bunch of raspberries on top, and it was like a chocolate ganache, like a thin layer of chocolate ganache on top with a bunch of raspberries. And as soon as I got the chocolate, it instantly brought me back to that. So lots of different experiences happening. I've never had an ice cream that tastes like this before, so it's really unique. I don't know necessarily if I would buy it again. I'm really glad I tried it. It's really unique and very creamy. All right, I'm gonna have a little bit more ice cream and watch a show. There's a new show called How I Met Your Mother. I keep wanting to say How I Met Your Father. How I Met Your Mother, that I'm very intrigued by. So I think I'm gonna watch that, get really cozy up on that couch under that blanket with my ice cream and call it a day. But I hope you enjoyed this What I Eat in a Day video. I hope it gave you some good ideas and also was maybe a good reminder just to try to slow down, don't rush through things. I know it's really easy when we feel so busy and there's so much going on, but if you have the time and you find yourself still rushing, just try to implement some of the things I talked about in this video, and hopefully that will help. If you guys want to try Emmy Ramen, you can click the link in the description box below, use my code, get $5 off. Thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more What I Eat in a Day videos, and I will see you in a video very soon. Bye!